Hello everyone, welcome back to the online classes. Dear students, in the previous video lecture, already I discussed about the introduction concept of electric charges and electric fields and how the two kinds of charge is differentiate. The property which differentiate the two kinds of charges, that is called polarity of charge. Here in this class I will continue the next concept of your topic. Again, now I am going to discuss about from the concept of charge. Charge means it is the intrinsic property of matter which is experienced by a force. Actually, the charges are classified as one is positive charge and another one is negative charge. In the year 1733, Charles Dupuy of France, he performed the experiment, and from the conclusion of the two experiment, there are two kinds of charges. He noticed that two glass rods rubbed against the silk repel each other. Two glass rods rubbed against the silk repel each other. Suppose we consider here these are the two glass rods. These are the two glass rods. When these two glass rods rubbed with the silk cloth, they are repel each other. This is the first glass rod and this is the second glass rod. When we consider these two glass rods and rubbed with the silk cloth, after rubbing with the silk cloth, these two glass rods are repel with each other. But in the same case, when we consider two plastic rods, here these are the two plastic rods. These two plastic rods are rubbed with a fur or wool. After rubbing with fur or wool, these two plastic rods are repel each other. But a rubbed glass rod in the third case, and rubbed plastic rod. A rubbed glass rod and rubbed plastic rods, they are attracted towards each other. In the first case, ಮೊದಲನೇ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಎರಡು ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡನ್ನು ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಕ್ಲಾತ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎರಡೂ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಯಿತು ರಿಪೆಲ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ರಾಡ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಫರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಊಲ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ರಾಡ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನದು ರಿಪೆಲ್ ಆದವು. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕೇಸ್ ವೆನ್ ದ ಒನ್ ರಬ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡ್ is placed near to the surface of this rubbed plastic rod. Now the glass rod is attracted towards the surface of this plastic rod. Here this is clearly shows that the charge is developed on the glass rod, it is different from that on the plastic rod. The charge is developed on the plastic rod, this is different from the charge is developed on the glass rod. Here the Dupuy identified there are two kinds of charges. ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅದವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅದಾವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಸ್ when the two glass rods are rubbed with the silk, the two glass rods are repel away with each other. When the two plastic rods are rubbed with a fur or wool, again the two plastic rods are rubbed with each other. But in the third case, one rubbed glass rod and one plastic rods are placed near with each other, they are attracted towards each other. Here this experiment, it gives the clearance of the charge is developed on the glass rod is different and the charge is developed on the plastic rod is different. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಡುಪೆ ಎಂಬತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟು ಅವನು ಮೊದಲು ವಿಟಿರಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೆಸಿನಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಟಿರಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೆಸಿನಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ? ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡ್. ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ glass rod. The charge developed on the glass rod when it is rubbed with the silk cloth. This is called vitreous charge anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. This is called vitreous charge. Here vitreum means that is glass. The charge is developed on the glass rod when it is rubbed with the silk cloth. That is called vitreous charge. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಮತ್ತು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇದು ಹೌದಾ, ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವಿನ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು? ಚಾರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಡೂಪೆ ಎಂಬತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡ್ when it is rubbed with the silk cloth. Vitreous charge ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Vitreous charge. The charge is developed on the glass rod. Here the charge is developed on the glass rod when rubbed with the silk was called vitreous charge. Here this is the Latin word. Vitreum means glass. Vitreum means glass. And the charge is developed on the plastic rod. The charge is developed on the plastic rod when rubbed with wool or fur. That is called resinous charge. That is called resinous charge. The charge is developed on the plastic rod when rubbed with the wool. That is called resinous charge. The charge is developed on the glass rod when it is rubbed with the silk cloth. That is called vitreous charge. And the charge is developed on the plastic rod when it is rubbed with the fur or wool. That is called resinous charge. Resinous means amber. Amber is a resin. But later on these terms were found to be misleading. For example, a ground glass rod not develops or a ground glass rod develops resonant electricity, while highly polished ebonite rod developed vitreous electricity. After that, Benjamin Franklin, he is an American pioneer of electrostatics. He introduced the present day convection by replacing the terms vitreous charge and resonance charge. They are called the positive and negative charges. According to the convection, positive charge ಅಂತ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Here the charge developed on a glass rod when rubbed with the silk cloth, that is called positive charge. There are two kinds of charges. ಎರಡು kinds of charges ಅದಾವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು? ಅವನು ಚಾರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಡೂಪೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಇವನು ಮತ್ತೆ ರೀನೇಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾರು? ಬೆಂಜಮಿನ್ ಫ್ರಾಂಕ್ಲಿನ್. ಇನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 1706 to 1790. He is a pioneer of electrostatic, American scientist. Here the positive charge means, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೋಲಿಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡ್ when rubbed with the silk cloth. The charge is developed on a glass rod when rubbed with the silk cloth. That is called positive charge. Negative charge means the charge developed on a plastic rod when rubbed with the wool. That is called negative charge. ಇನ್ನೇ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, ಸರ್ ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಕ್ಲಾತನ್ನು ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಯಾಕೆ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡನ್ನು ತಗೋಬೇಕು? ಅದನ್ನೇ ತಗೋಬೇಕಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟು ಆ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ದ ಬಾಡಿ ವಿಚ್ ಲೂಸಸ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್, the body which loses the electron, that is called positively charged body. The body which gains the electrons, that is called negatively charged body. I repeat this, a body which loses the electron, that is called positively charged body. The body which gains the electrons, that is called negatively charged body. ಯಾವ ಬಾಡಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನನ್ನು ಲೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೋ, ಹೌದಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ಯಾವುದು ಗೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಐತಿ, ಇದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಐತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಎ ಬಾಡಿ ವಿಚ್ ಲೂಸಸ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಾಡಿ. Body which gains the electron that is called negatively charged body. Here a proton is said to have a positive charge. Proton is a positively charged body and electron is said to have a negatively charged body. Proton is a positively charged body, electron is a negatively charged body, neutron is a electrically neutral. Every atom consists of proton, neutron and electron. The protons and neutrons are together called nucleons. The electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbit. The electron is said to have a negative charge. Charge means it is the intrinsic property of matter which is experienced by the force. There are two kinds of charges. One is positive charge and another one is negative charge. ಈ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಮತ್ತು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅದಾವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಯಾರು? ಬೆಂಜಮಿನ್ ಫ್ರಾಂಕ್ಲಿನ್. ಬಟ್ ಅವನಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಚಾರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಡುಪೆ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ವೆನ್ ದ ಟೂ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡ್ಸ್ ರಬ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಕ್ಲಾತ್, ದ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ರಾಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಪೆಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಈಚ್ ಅದರ್. Two plastic rods rubbed with a fur or wool, again the two plastic rods are repel with each other. In the third case, one rubbed glass rod is placed in contact with the rubbed plastic rod. In that case, the glass rod and plastic rods attract with each other. This experiment shows the charge is developed on the glass rod is different and the charge is developed on the plastic rod is different. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನವ? The charge developed on the glass rod when it is rubbed with the silk cloth, that is called vitreous charge. ಯಾಕೆ ವಿಟಿರಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೋ? In the Latin word vitrum, that means glass, and the charge is developed on the plastic rod when it is rubbed with the fur or wool, that is called resinous charge. That is called resinous charge. Amber is resin ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. Amber is a resin. Here ಅವು ಎರಡು ಟರ್ಮನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಂಜಮಿನ್ ಫ್ರಾಂಕ್ಲಿನ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಎಂದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಪ್ರೋಟಾನ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೇಡ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೇಡ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆರ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್, ದ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್, ದ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ the charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. The smallest possible value of the elementary charge, the value is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. ಇದು ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. The smallest possible value of charge is measured by the instrument, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. This is the charge of the one proton or charge of the one electron. Charge of the one proton or charge of the one electron. Proton is said to have a positive charge and electron is said to have a negative charges. And the charge, it is a scalar quantity because it's having only magnitude but not direction. It is a scalar quantity. And now I am going to explain the different kinds of charges. ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ವರ್ಡನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್. ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಎ ಫೋರ್ಸ್, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಫೋರ್ಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ದ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ that can be added to or removed from the body, that is called elementary charge. Now I consider this is the small body. The smallest amount of an electric charge, ನಾನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ನಾನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? The smallest amount of an electric charge, that is E is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. This is the smallest possible value of an charge is added to the body. This is called elementary charge, or the smallest amount of an electric charge that can be removed from the body. ಈ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಅಗೇನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. This is called elementary charge. The smallest amount of an electric charge that can be added to or removal from a body. ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟು, ಹೌದಾ, ನಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 ಕೂಲಮ್. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ನಾನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟಾನ್ ಆರ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಒನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಎ ಬಾಡಿ. ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಷ್ಟು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅ ಬಾಡಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಅಗೇನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. It is the magnitude of smallest unit of positive charged proton or negatively charged electron. And the next type of charge is that is test charge ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ವರ್ಡನ್ನು ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ here the word itself says, now I consider plus q is the charge particle. Plus q is the charge particle. The charge is at rest. Because now we'll study ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು electrostatics. It is the branch of physics which deals with the study of charges or at rest or stationary. Here, the reason around this charge, this is called electric field. The reason around the electric charge is called electric field. Like when the magnet ಅನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರಿ, the reason around the magnet is called magnetic field ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. Plus q, it is the positively charged body. Plus q is the positively charged body. Here, the reason around this electric charge is called electric field. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಐತಿ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟ್ ಐತಿ, ಹೌದಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಐತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟನ್ನು ಅದರ ನಿಯರ್ ತಂದಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅದು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಐರನ್ ಪೀಸನ್ನು ತಂದಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅದು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಐತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಎ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ whose presence does not affect the already existing electric field. The region around the electric charge is called electric field. Now I consider small charge particle. Again here this is called test charge. This is called test charge. Here this test charge is used to measure the presence of electric field in this region. The test charge is used to detect the electric field around the charge. Here plus q means it is the positively charged body or negatively charged body. Plus q, it is a positively charged body. The region around this electric charge is called electric field. But ಇಲ್ಲಿ electric field ಐತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? Now I place a small test charge. Here this is the test charge. Here the test charge is used to detect the presence of electric field around this charge. This is called test charge, and this test charge, this presence is does not affect the already existing electric field. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಎ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ whose presence does not affect the already existing electric field, that is called test charge. And the next one is that is point charge anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Now I consider the 2 point charges. Here this is q1 and q2 charge. It is mathematically denoted by the symbol q. q1 and q2 are the 2 point charges. These 2 point charges separated by a small distance are. Point charge means a charged body of negligible size. A charged body of negligible size as compared to distance from the point of consideration. Here, the size of this charge is negligible as compared to its distance. As compared to its distance. ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಾರ್ಜದ ಸೈಜ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅವಾಗ ಯಾವ ವರ್ಡನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್, ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆನ್ intrinsic property of the material which is experienced with a force. The intrinsic property of the material which is experienced with a force, then it is called ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು charge. Charge, it is an intrinsic property of the elementary particles like protons, electrons, right? It is the intrinsic property of elementary particle which gives rise to the electric force between the various objects. The SI unit of charge is coulomb. Electric charge, it is a scalar quantity. Proton have a positive charge, that is plus E, and electron have a negative charge, minus E. But the smallest possible value of the electric charge is, or elementary charge is, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. And elementary charge means it is the smallest amount of an elementary charge or electric charge that can be added or removed from a body. Test charge means a charge whose presence does not affect the already existing electric field. Point charge means the size of the charge body is negligible as compared to the distance from the point of consideration, that is called a point charge. ಇಷ್ಟು ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಐತಿ, ಹೌ ಟು ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್? ಚಾರ್ಜನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಐತು ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹಂಗಾರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೀಪ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೀಪ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆನ್ ಆನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಒಂದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಐತು ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಡಿವೈಸಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್. ದಟ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್. ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪನ್ನು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್. ಅ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ and identifying its polarity. Identifying its polarity. Polarity means ಎರಡು ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? polarity. The property which differentiate the two kinds of charges is called polarity of charge. Is called polarity of charge. Here it consists of a vertical conducting rod. It consists of vertical conducting rod passing through this metal sphere. This is the rubber rod. Passing through this metal sphere or rubber stopper. And here it consists of a vertical conducting rod. This is a vertical conducting rod. Vertical conducting rod. Gold leaf electroscope means it is a device used to detect the electric charge. It is an instrument used to detect the charge on a body. Here, the vertical rod, illiರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು vertical rod ಇದೆ. Here, it consists of vertical conducting rod passing through the rubber stopper. This is the rubber stopper and fitted in the mouth of a glass vessel. Here, this is the glass vessel. The two thin gold leaves are here. These are the two gold leaves. Two thin gold leaves are attached to the lower end of the rod. Two thin gold leaves are attached to the lower end of the rod. When the charged object or when the charged body, this is the charged body, when the charged body or the charged object touches the metal knob at the outer end of the rod. When the charged rod touches the metal knob or outer end of this rod, this is the outer end of the rod. When the charged body or the charged object touches the metal knob at the outer end of the rod, the charge flows down to the leaves. The charge goes down to the leaves. When the charge flows down to this leaves. The leaves are diverges. ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಎರಡು ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗ್ತವೆ ನಮಗೆ ಡೈವರ್ಜ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು repulsion of the like charges they have received. The degree of divergence indicates the degree of divergence indicates or the degree of divergence of the leaves. It gives the measure of an amount of electric charge. Measure of an amount of electric charge. It is a very simple process. The detection of charge on an object. ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅನ್ನು ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೀಪ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು measure the charge on the body, or it is an instrument which is used to detect the charge on the body. Here it consists of a one glass container. This glass container is fitted with a metal knob or metal plate. Here the glass rod is inserted through this metal plate. This is the vertical conducting glass rod, and the gold leaves are the two gold leaves are attached to the lower end of the metal rod. When the charged body is placed near to the end of this metal rod, vertical conducting metal rod, here the charges are flows through this vertical conducting rod. The charges are flows through this vertical conducting rod. Now the two gold leaves are diverge with each other. The divergence of these two gold leaves, it indicates the amount of electric charge. The divergence of the leaves gives the measure of the amount of electric charge. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಐತಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಇದರಿಂದ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಆರ್ ಅನದರ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಇದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್. ಹೌದಾ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು detect the charge on a body, or gold leaf, it is an instrument used to detect the charge on a body. It consists of a vertical metal rod. It consists of vertical metal rod inserted in a box. This is the glass box. ಯಾಕೆ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಡೈವರ್ಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಡೈವರ್ಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅದು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು. ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಮೆಟಲ್ ರಾಡ್. when this metal rod is inserted in the box with the two thin gold leaves, with the two thin gold leaves here like this, with the two thin gold leaves attached to its bottom end, when the charged object, here this is the charged object, when the charged object is, when the charged object is here, when a charged object touches the metal knob at the top of the rod, the charged object is touches the metal knob at the top of the rod, the charge is flows on the leaves and they diverge each other. The degree of divergence, it indicator of the amount of electric charge. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಬಾಡಿಯನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಡೈವರ್ಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಾಡಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕೂಡ ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡೈವರ್ಜೆನ್ಸ್ ರಿಪೆಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ, when two glass rods are rubbed with the silk glove, they are repel with each other. Two plastic rods rubbed with the fur or wool, again they are repel with each other. Like that, when the positively charged body is placed in contact with the metal rod, the gold leaves are diverge with each other. When the plastic rod, the negatively charged plastic rod is placed in contact with here, again the gold leaves are diverge with each other. Here this diagram clearly explains this phenomenon. Here this is the positively charged body. When this positively charged body placed in contact with the vertical conducting metal rod, here the two gold leaves are attached to this vertical conducting metal rod. The gold leaves are diverge with each other. This divergence indicates the amount of electric charge. This is the procedure to detect the charge in an object. Gold leaf electroscope, it is a device which is used to measure the electric charge. The device which is used to measure the electric charge is called gold leaf electroscope. ಅಂದರೆ ಚಾರ್ಜು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಯಿತು, ಹೌದಾ, ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ರಾಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು. ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಯಿತು. ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈಡ್ ಇಂಟು ತ್ರೀ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್: ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, semiconductors and insulator. Now what is conductor? Yeah. Classification of materials. Classification of materials. Materials can be classified into three types based on the electrical properties of materials. They are classified into three types. First one is conductors, second one is insulator, and third one is semiconductor. Based on the electrical properties, they are having certain properties. ಹೌದಾ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಬಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್. ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ವಾಹಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಥ್ರೂ ವಿಚ್ charge flow easily. Conductor, it is a material through which charge flows easily, that is called conductor, or the material which allow the flow of electric charges through them are called conductor. The materials which allow the flow of electric charges through them are called conductors. ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ಮೂಲಕ ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ತನ್ನು ಪ್ರವಹಿಸಲು ಬಿಡುತ್ತವೋ ಅಂಥವಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್. Conductor is a material through which a charge flows easily, that is called a conductor, or the materials which allow the flow of electric charges through them are called conductors. Examples: most of the metals or most metals are a good conductors. Most metals are a good conductor. This is the charged conductor. The materials which allow the flow of electric charges through them are called conductors. Most metals are the good conductors. Most metals are the good conductors, or impure water or solution of salt. These are the examples for good conductor. And the next type is, that is insulator. Insulator means a materials through which charge flows poorly or not at all, or the materials which do not allow the flow of electric charges through them. The materials which do not allow the flow of electric charges through them are called insulator. For examples: silk and cotton threads, rubber and many plastics are good insulators. ನೀವು ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್. ಅದು ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಟನ್ ಥ್ರೆಡ್. ಸರ್, ನಾವು ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಕ್ಲಾತನ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಸುಲೇಟರ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಇನ್ಸುಲೇಟರ್. ಅದರ ಬದಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ, ಹೌದಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಥ್ರೆಡನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ತಂತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು? ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಅದು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಟನ್ ಥ್ರೆಡನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೀಸನ್ ಏನಲ್ಲಿ? ದೇ ಆರ್ ದ ಗುಡ್ ಇನ್ಸುಲೇಟರ್. ರಬ್ಬರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗುಡ್ insulators. The materials which do not allow the flow of electric charges through them, they are called insulator. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಅವಾಗಲೇ when the plastic rod is rubbed with the fur or wool, the charge is developed on the plastic rod, that is called negative charge ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ, ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಸುಲೇಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ, ಬಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? The charge is developed on the surface of the plastic rod when it is rubbed with another material. The charge is produced due to friction. The charge is produced due to friction. Friction ಇಂದ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. When the plastic rod is rubbed with another material, then only the charge is developed on the surface of the plastic rod, that is called negative charge. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಮತ್ತು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? The body which loses the electron, that is called positively charged body. Body which gains the electrons, that is called positively charged, negatively charged body ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Body which gains the electron, that is positively charged. Body which loses the electron, that is called positively charged body. Body which gains the electron, that is called negatively charged body. Insulator means a material which do not allow the flow of electric charges through them. They are called insulators. These are the best examples for insulator. Here, insulator, a material through which charge flows flow poorly or not at all. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇನ್ಸುಲೇಟರ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್, ಸೆಮಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್. ಹಿಯರ್ material which partially conduct the electricity, or the materials which partially allow the flow of electric charges through them. The materials which partially allow the flow of electric charges through them, they are called semiconductors. Electrical properties of semiconductor, they are lies between conductors and insulator. Conductor means material which does not allow to flow the electric charge. Conductor means the material which is allowed to flow the electric charge. Insulator means material which does not allow to flow the electric charge. But semiconductor means the property which are lies between conductors and insulators. The properties which are lies between conductors and insulator are called semiconductors. And the best examples for semiconductor is germanium and silicon, gallium, arsenic. These are the best examples for the semiconductor. The materials which partially allow the flow of electric charges through them are called semiconductors, or electrical properties of semiconductors lies in between conductors and insulator. Germanium and silicon, gallium, arsenic, these are the best examples for the semiconductor. ಇದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದೆ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್, 14th ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಕು. ಈಗ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟಾಪಿಕನ್ನು. ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ electrical properties of the conductors lies between, or semiconductors lies between conductors and insulator. The material which partially conduct the electricity, that is called semiconductor ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಯಾಕೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇನ್ ಡಿಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. Okay, thank you. And in the next class I will discuss about the concept of electrification, how the one body loses the electron, how the one body gains the electron, and when the body loses the electron, how it behaves, and the body gains the electron, how it behaves. I will discuss that concept in the next class. Okay, thank you.